Okay, now phone etiquette. Let's get to that. An exercise before that, right? Most of us have had to work from home recently and have had to adjust to having most of our communication on our phones. What are some behaviors that people often display on calls and messages which you consider improper etiquette, right? So pause the video and answer the questions, the 3 points which are there. Okay, now this is some of the etiquette here. As far as possible, don't take too long to answer the call, right? As far as possible, that's what you're supposed to do on your cell phones. Protocol suggests start your conversation with a very warm greeting when you're speaking to somebody. So don't just say, ha, bull, right? So as far as unless you're speaking to that same person again and again and again during the day, then maybe you can avoid the warm greeting. You can, but otherwise, if you're talking to a person once in a while, always start with that warm greeting, right? Always return missed calls. If you're not in a position to call, leave a message letting the person know when you will connect with them, right? So be very careful about this thing. A lot of people, if they call somebody, if they don't answer the call on purpose, they'll go on WhatsApp and check whether you're online, and then they'll be like, yes, he's avoiding my calls, right? And you don't want to do that. You don't want to kind of offend people in a business setting like that, right? So if you missed a call and if you're busy in a meeting, just send a message to them after that, and tell them what time you'll call them back, right? You want to do that at the earliest. And of course, the reality of the situation is if you're going to be in different meetings, you are going to miss calls. So missed calls is a part and parcel of our work life, right? There's nothing which is wrong with it. But as soon as you see the missed call, either call back or at least message them back telling them when you will get in touch with them, right? Avoid calling any of your clients or colleagues before 8 a.m. or after 8 p.m. Yeah, this is something that you should avoid. Use speakerphone only when necessary, more so because people can't hear you clearly. Then they're like, I can't hear you. So you want to avoid that as far as possible. And inform the other person before putting them on hold, right? If you get another call, if you need to put somebody on hold, just inform them of it before you get on the other call, if you have to get on that other call, right? As far as possible, don't do that. You want to finish this conversation and then start the next conversation, right? If somebody is on kind of call waiting. Now, be wary of background noise. Go to a quiet room and talk when you can. It just seems very unprofessional when you're speaking and there's just too much of background noise happening, right? If you're speaking to your boss like that, your boss is going to wonder whether you're working or not from home at all, right? इतना आवाज चल रहा है और तुम काम कर रहे हो, दिमाग में तो आएगा ही उसके, ठीक है? So you want to go to a room where there's hardly any background noise. Again, like the meetings, don't chew anything while speaking on the phone. If you have network issues, like I think Arunima has today, during the call, deal with it patiently and wisely. This is something that I don't do very often. This irritates me so much because the network these days are so bad. Of course, I don't yell, but do not start yelling. If the issue is at your end, politely tell them that you are disconnecting the call to find a better spot to call them back from. If the issue is at the other person's end, politely tell them that you are facing difficulty hearing them and kindly ask them to find a network zone, right? So yeah, I tend to get very irritated when you say something, then people can't hear you, and then you keep doing that back and forth. So the best thing to do is just disconnect and find a location where you can start hearing each other in a much better fashion and have a conversation. Then if you are having a conversation where you can barely hear the other person, please bring it to that notice, because sometimes a lot of important information will get missed out if there are long periods where the network is dropped or you can't hear the other person, right? So you just don't want to say, don't want to nod your head and say ha 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 ha, right? You don't want to do that, right? So yeah, these are some of the things which are on the phone that you need to take care of.